I was born in 1928, the second of three children into a white middle-class home, to well-educated parents who lived in a nice house in what we called then a good neighborhood. I was literally given a silver spoon on the occasion of my birth. What defined us then was that we were Protestant, a small minority in the big ethnic enclaves of Brooklyn in those days. Protestantism seemed to equal republicanism and a whole host of social and political beliefs that came with that identity. Roosevelt and his New Deal, and the conviction that unions were bad for America. And there was a ranking of those whom we could trust based on their identity and who we had to keep at arm's length. Bunkered down in this way was like living in a cocoon. Supposedly, it was protecting us from danger, but the danger it protected us from was change. In those days, it never occurred to me to challenge these ideas. I had some prolonged hospital visits and house quarantines in my childhood. During these, I became an avid reader and found my ways to worlds that spoke of ways different from my own. My elite public high school was an hour away from home. It had 6,000 boys and was ethnically and religiously diverse, and very few boys from my small white Protestant cocoon. Well, my fingers will work better soon. At times, I was uneasy and guilty about the shared prejudices of my community, which increasingly did not square with what I was exposed to. At 17, I got a job as a counselor in a live-in camp for boys, an opening up of my world for which I will be forever grateful. There in my own city, in the faraway borough of Staten Island, I stepped into the reality of an interracial camp with an integrated staff. It was total immersion and way outside my limited world. Race was the elephant on the table, but we never discussed it. We just did our jobs. I had little experience with how to handle or organize a bunch of 6 12-year-old kids from working-class families. What saved me was being assigned to the beach. As a good swimmer, I had a way to connect. I had knowledge of the problems of people of color, but what I was seeing and who I was meeting made things personal. I read library books on Black history and the Black experience to deepen my understanding. And I was also aware that on our days off, when we went home, the Black and white counselors went separate ways. What I had gotten out of the summer became clear immediately. It was my last year of high school. I spoke up more in class. The war was over. Old norms were being challenged. What I had read in newspapers fit into a progressive new perspective. I made friends who liked to talk about social, political, and civil rights issues. I attended left-wing rallies and picket lines. The old cocoon was boring, and I knew that its values were wrong. I also found the power to leave and find a new community. I had the fervor of being right in the energetic way that only 18-year-olds possess. Yeah.